We're excited today to be able to interview this beautiful young woman from Central High School who is a National Merit semifinalist. Finalist. Her name is Kristen McCollum, and I think it is of great interest to me and to our viewers to understand some parts of the process that contributed to her winning this achievement. I just have asked her, did she grow up in San Angelo? And your answer?
I have been here all my life. I've been living in the same house, so I've been here in San Angelo for almost 18 years.
And she has gone through our public school system. And it's important for me to know the components that you, as a 17 or 18-year-old, believe have contributed to you being able to score a high enough score to get this achievement.
Well, family encouragement, definitely, because as you know, my older brother was a National Merit finalist as well, so it's always been an important thing to succeed. I think mostly it's my parents always made it clear that they will let me go, to college, let me go wherever I want as long as I can get myself there. And so I think that just provided the motivation, just knowing that if I work hard and if I, do what I'm supposed to and make the grades, that that'll open unlimited opportunities for me because, my parents have never been like, we don't have the money for you to go anywhere, you're staying here, So that's always good. And that's something that I've worked for, to make sure that I can get where I want to go.
And so where do you want to go?
I've applied 3 places. I applied to Southwestern in Georgetown, outside of Austin. I applied to Davidson College in North Carolina and Swarthmore College in Pennsylvania. And I'm still waiting to hear from Davidson and Swarthmore, but I think my top choice right now is Davidson in North Carolina.
All of those are small schools. Really a smaller class ingoing freshmen than the class you have been a part of at Central High School.
Yes.
Has that been of interest to you, or has the majors that they offer and what they're strong in been more of an interest for you?
Mostly because they're liberal arts colleges, meaning that they supply a lot of different subjects and are very strong in all of their departments. And so that was very important to me, to make sure it was a liberal arts school, that I could get there, I could try different things and find out what I wanted to do. And also the size really appealed to me because of the class size. I wanted to be very personal with my professors, and that's something even Central has over 2,000 population. Davidson has 1,700, I think, so it's considerably smaller. But even at Central, I've had some great teachers that I could call up on the phone if I needed help or things like that, and I really enjoyed that, and I know that there are some great schools out there that also offer that opportunity.
Do you know what you want to major in?
Right now, when people ask me, I say math, just because I really enjoy it. And I've pushed through, all the math until calculus this year, and I really like it, so I'm hoping that that's what I can definitely study in depth, if not major in.
Okay, now let's take some steps backward to what I mentioned earlier, the components that have gone together to make you have the background of knowledge and skills to be so successful on the PSAT test, which is the test taken the junior year.
Yes, junior year.
That unless a child takes that, they are not even a part of the consideration to be a National Merit Scholar.
Right.
So what other things, like reading books, experiences, do you believe have been important? Because grandparents and parents in our audience, I'm a grandparent now, I want to know, what can I do for Megan and Carly and Macy to help them get opportunities like this and be successful, if at all possible?
Well, the strongest half of the PSAT for me personally was the math section, and you tell people this and sometimes they really don't believe you because it doesn't seem to connect. But when I was in the first grade, my parents bought me a piano. And I started going to piano lessons, and I've been doing that ever since. So this is my 11th year to be taking piano. And music and math, so they correlate so much that it's just, there's no escaping, understanding both subjects. And so I think that really helped me out. So getting into the music, the arts, even though it seems, unrelated, it's not. It's really important to have a well-rounded mind, and that helps you out in everything. Using your left and right brain, being able to be well-rounded like that. So anything, if it's music, if it's painting, if it's, reading books, just doing something else that exercises all of your brain.
So are you an avid reader?
I do read outside of class, but I like not so much the classics. Like right now I'm reading What is the What by Dave Eggers. It's very contemporary about like the Sudanese oppression, things like that. So
nonfiction, is that nonfiction?
It's classified as nonfiction because it's written as a novel, but it's about a very real person and a real situation. It's just written in the form of a story.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Well, other young people like yourself that I have interviewed with some of these same questions have felt like their vocabulary, that these tests do show the young people who have advanced vocabularies. And several of them have said that the more they have read, it increases their vocabulary. So I wondered if you felt that that was something for yourself.
I think so. Junior year especially is intense with the amount of reading you do and the amount of analyzing books and things just in junior English. And I think Central, at least, I'm not sure about other schools, but Central has a very good program of Bergen-Evans vocabulary. So you get a lot of vocabulary just in the classroom with reading and with assignments, things like that.
Have you taken from the earliest days of middle school any and all pre-AP and AP courses that you could?
Yes.
I think that that is important for young people who aspire to reach the levels you have, to take advantage of that. Often, young people left to their own decisions will opt an easier route because pre-AP and AP is much more in-depth and rigorous work. But they do have the parts of it, the analyzing parts that you just described, that are very important to helping those parts of your brain develop. What are experiences that you have had in your childhood, either through school or home, that you think have broadened your knowledge base?
Experiences. Really just dinner table conversation, I would say, with my family. As I mentioned, I have two older brothers, and they're both very smart, both went to very good colleges. And just, I remember, being up in my brother's room one time, and he was trying to teach me, I guess it was algebra. He's, much older than me, so there was no way my mind could comprehend it, but I was fascinated by the things he was saying, and I wanted so badly to understand. Just watching them do homework, hearing about what went on in their classes and what they discussed, I think it's very important, and if you don't have siblings, then just the parents, just to start talking about things and making sure it comes across that it matters to them. And that's definitely something that influenced me, is just being so intrigued by what my brothers were saying and by what my parents had learned and things like that, that it just made me want to know more about everything.
Okay, I've asked you about your undergraduate hopes. And you've applied to 3 very good small schools, liberal arts schools. Have you thought down the road toward a profession and a graduate experience and what you want to be?
I definitely know that I want to go to graduate school at least. As to where, I'm not sure. If I take the math route, I might want to try for Princeton because it's just great at math. But it really depends on what I major in and what I would like to pursue. And right now, I really don't know what that is or what my career might be. I've thought of everything from social work to pre-med to being a college professor. So I'm just keeping my options open.
Now, you know that most outstanding graduate schools, it is not good enough to just make good grades. They are not just pre-med, but other graduate programs are very interested in what you also contribute back to your world. So in thinking over the next 4 years when you're in college, even though you will be with your nose in a book, what would you think that you would be involved in for community service, long-term interest-wise, that would help you toward getting into set you apart with other smart students to get accepted into a top graduate school like Princeton?
There are lots of programs, thankfully, that the colleges that I'm looking at offer. I really like to work with kids. I work at a summer camp every summer, and that's just something that I'm passionate about. So I'm sure once I get to school, I would love to go to a local high school, local middle school, and just work with the kids as a tutor or anything community-wise. Currently I'm in Tri-High, which is very community-based, and then I've gone on mission trips on a mission trip to Mississippi for post-Hurricane Katrina, and just things like that are service-oriented but also are very people, just relational. And so that would be very important to me, just to find people and to serve them, but as to what exactly, I'm not sure.
Well, but you're thinking about it, and you've already done some things to let you know what you're drawn toward or called to do, like work with children. That's a great thing. I've already asked you a little bit about your vocation, and you're not positive, but do you have a part of the world, if you could choose, in which to live? Have you thought about that?
I've thought about studying abroad, at least. I would really love to go to Italy. But as far as what happens when I graduate, I love Texas. I'm native San Angelo, and I've known nothing but Texas, really. And so I might be here, I might be in Maine or Oregon, I don't know, it could be anything. I guess it really depends on what my career is and where that's needed.
Well, you make us so proud. We, and the city of San Angelo, and particularly your former teachers and principals, are going to follow you closely and pray for you and encourage you, and know that as you are growing into an older young woman over these next few years, you will have a cheerleading group of people back here in San Angelo pulling for you to be all you were meant to be.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking with us today.
You're very welcome.